Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back to another Band Maid reaction. This time to the song No God, the official live video. Now, before I begin, been seeing a couple of comments on this channel, particularly when I react to Band Maid, where there's certain band maniacs that feel like I don't like the band for some reason, and that why am I torturing myself reacting to this band? And I think there's a common misconception. I just wanted to help address that issue so they understand is I enjoy this band and I like what I feel from it. I just might not be on the level of fandom that some of you guys are, where you're just absolutely in love with this band. And I know that feeling. I've listened to bands that I couldn't comprehend. Why doesn't somebody like them as much as I do? For me, that's Bolt Thrower or Exodus, for example, those two bands. I've met people who just don't enjoy them and say they don't like them, whereas I'm a huge fan of them. So I totally relate to you guys from that perspective. If you hear a little bit more noise, I have a little kitty there in the background. I've been playing with her all day, but she still wants more attention. Without any further ado, guys, let's get into Band Maid. Let's see, get into this song. Like I said, I've been enjoying 90% of what I've heard from this band, and just their overall, I think their energy is very infectious. And that's my reason for coming back every single time. Perhaps, maybe I'm not going to listen to this band on my own, but I can't help enjoy somebody in their element and enjoy what they're doing. That's my most genuine, honest way kind of to express myself. I remember this is the concert where there's no live audience, right? It was during COVID. They did a concert for the people, but nobody in attendance, and that's kind of a shame. I've heard that they're coming back for 2022, where they're going to give a whole tour, which should be pretty interesting to hear. What I liked about them from the beginning is their modern sensibilities, Japanese sensibilities mixed in with, I would say, you know, but something you guys first of all educated me on was the blues and the jazz part, where the kind of formal education comes from. But also, I would say like rock and roll, rock, and classic rock as well. I think they have a lot of influences coming from there, and it's just nice to see them kind of jam it all together. And the more I've listened to them, the more I've realized it's very natural for them to do it that way. And I definitely judged the book by its cover when I first began reacting to them, because I thought, oh, here we go, another kind of exploitation of certain elements without real skill. That's kind of how the first perception that I might have had with this band, and was proven time and time wrong many times over, which is a nice thing. This song is like this chaos. The one thing I know, and I know this within myself, I have to get over this with jazz as well, especially improvisational jazz. I think I mentioned on this channel that I've always kind of had a hard time getting into it because how chaotic it might sound, and there's rhythm within the chaos, because they're so influential on all of music, including somebody like Band Maid. I feel like I have to find an avenue into getting it. I don't believe that I think music is accessible for everybody. With some, you have to try harder than others because it becomes more of a thing you think you should be doing to expand your horizons. At least that's how I think. Oh my god, that bass. Something I thought about as I'm listening to this, I would want to bring a challenge forth to you guys in the comments. Because I have some of the best engagement on Band Maid. I think it'll be an interesting question to pose to you guys. Name a band that escaped you that is world famous, world popular, or everybody seems to love it and enjoy it and calls them like phenomenal and amazing, but for some reason that you cannot get into. You try and you feel like you should, but you can't get into. I'll give you, beyond the example of Band Maid, I'll give you the example of Meshuggah. Meshuggah is a name I've heard in metal for their polyrhythmic playing since the 90s. Well, I've started hearing them in the 2000s, where I really heard that name from my brother who did some research and found this band. And then they would pop up from movies to just being into metal. They've always popped up. To this day, I can't get into them, and I feel like I'm missing out. So I would want to hear from you guys, for your example, what you think you've always been missing out on that you just can't get into. I haven't heard a solo yet, so I'm like waiting for it. Here we go. Ah, bass solo. You know, over the time, I know a lot of people point to the drummer in this particular song, and that she's a really good drummer overall. But the two elements that really drive my liking for Band Maid is probably not as popular amongst other fans, is the vocals and the bass. I think they're just the way they sound. I'm not the guitars that they're bad or something like that, but just those are the things that my mind goes to and kind of attaches and latches on right away, and it happens to be just to my liking. Yeah, and they definitely, I can see how much fun they're having just playing the concert. It must be difficult to just have no audience in the crowd, and you have to really give that energy 110%, because people are going to be watching it over and over and over on YouTube. And man, thank God for YouTube. YouTube has been the best thing, I think, for musicians, but even more for us fans to be able to access music either maybe we can't buy yet, or get previews for music easier. Man, I remember 1995 days, if a preview for a song came out, you'd be there for like 20 minutes to hear a preview of 30 seconds with a modem connection. And imagine when there wasn't any previews. You know, I remember going to Virgin Megastore when it was still open in New York, and my brother would take me there, and we would go by the stations where you'd be able to listen to music at the top 100 albums. And to discover a metal band there would be very difficult sometimes. Like, you know, if it was Iron Maiden or Metallica, something like Megadeth, they'll be there. But some of the bands you would want to hear, you wouldn't be able to. As a matter of fact, my brother discovered Iced Earth based on the covers. Back in the day, he just went in, he didn't do any research. He saw the covers, he saw the Spawn cover, He's like, I need to have it. It was a Todd McFarlane cover. And he discovered how good it was, bought all the albums right after. Yeah, this was an awesome song. It's not my favorite. Yeah, it's not my. I think Onset or what's the other one? I think Manners, was it? They're still my favorites. Oh man, they were so good because I think it's the older style of Band Maid, that kind of bluesy style with really nice kind of leads. I really enjoyed this, but I'm starting to appreciate the chaotic part of this band as well. I don't know if I'll ever. I don't know, I shouldn't say that ever. You know, things change, but I know I am not at the level of some of the fans on this channel that come and visit and participate in the comments. I know I'm not on the level of how you guys feel about them, because I read some of the comments and I have to like kind of sit back. It's like, whoa, they really love this band. As a matter of fact, I'll go on record and say there is no band that I like that much. There's no movie that I like. I don't have the way I interact with music as much as I love music, and I can't live without it. I've never had that overwhelming attachment. It's the same thing in video games. When I play video games, people tell me that they've been playing a certain game for over 1,000 hours. I've never played anything for 1,000 hours. I have this need, like a neophilia, and needing to experience something new over the course of certain months. Like I can play something for 6 months, and then I feel like I need to switch. It's the same thing with albums. I will blast an album for like 3 months, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta switch over to something else. I remember my brother, when Brave New World for Iron Maiden came out, he played just that album, I think, for like a year straight. That's how obsessed he was. I was never obsessed with anything like that. I guess it's just a different way to interpret and consume music. But anywho, you kind of get my point of view and where I'm coming from. I think there's a couple more seconds, it just fades out. And hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this reaction, enjoyed my kind of thought process, my experiences that I've shared over the course of the video. But I would love to hear some of yours as well, and maybe how you discovered Band Maid. I've never asked that before. How did you discover Band Maid, and how did you get into them? How long it took you to get into them? And guys, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep it metal.